With the 52nd pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Rams select Cam Akers.
How has it been out here for you so far, just getting back into the rhythm of things? And what have your first impressions been of Matthew Stafford?
It's been good. It's been fun, getting back around the team, just getting back in the groove of things, working with each other, being around each other. And it's been fun getting to know Matt too, gaining chemistry, catching balls, getting handoffs from him, feeling the way he likes to lead, just learning each other. That's what this little time that we've been spending together been. We've been learning each other and just getting comfortable.
I know a lot of the timing stuff, especially on the handoffs and then when you're kind of rolling out as a pass catcher, the timing stuff is so important. But more than just repping it and repping it and repping it, what are some communication things or what are some things you guys have done to really start to just get into that timing?
Well, I don't think anything can substitute for reps or communicating. The more you do that, the better you'll get. The more it'll be like the back of your hand, second nature. You'll get it, and it'll be easy. The more you do it. So I think that's been our process so far.
Thanks, Cam.
No problem.
Go ahead, Nick.
Hey, Cam. It was talk about just having a sense of urgency out there. Is that what you kind of felt this week, as far as just getting back into the groove of everything?
Definitely. Just having a sense of urgency, coming out, wanting to, a sense of want to. That's really what it comes down to. When coach said urgency and want to, if you don't want to be here, then don't be here. Obviously it's not mandatory. So we want people who working here to work. Come out, have some enthusiasm, and get better.
What has changed for you coming in from rookie season into year two, mentally as well as physically for you?
Well, mentally, it's just everything just slowed down. Everything a lot easier for me. I understand the playbook a lot more. I understand blocking schemes. I understand who I need to block. Just understanding a lot more. And physically, just work. I'm still working right now.
Lastly, for me, you talked about Matthew Stafford and the communication with, but not just Matthew, but everybody on the offensive side of the ball. How was that working out as far as just you understanding where he's coming from, he's understanding where you're coming from, so you guys can really continue to gel and be on that same page as you move towards the start of the regular season?
I was working out great. He's a great communicator, great leader. So, it's not hard to pick up or understand what he's trying to get done or understand what he's saying. He's very clear cut, and he'll let you know, what he wants you to do or what you're doing wrong or what you're doing right.
Thanks, Cam.
No problem.
Maria?
Hey, Cam. Thanks for doing this. We appreciate it.
No problem.
You're not the rookie anymore, but you've got lots of rookies out here. What kind of things are they asking you, or are you sort of telling them just so they get more comfortable?
Just come to work every day. As a rookie, I realized early on that you have to be consistent, to learn the playbook, to get comfortable. It don't happen overnight and it don't happen every other day. You got to come out every day and you got to work. So, that's just my message to our rookies. Come do it every day. If you want a shot at coming and competing and playing right now, come do it every day.
Thank you.
No problem.
Gary?
Hey, Cam. Wondering what's it been like for you knowing you're going into this season kind of as the featured back, as the number one guy? How are you handling that mentally, and what are you getting from people you run into in terms of, wishing you luck and whatnot?
Well, mentally, I just handle it, just take it day by day. Prepare. That's the only thing you can do is prepare and make sure you're doing all you can to be at your best for the team, So that's what I've been focusing on doing, whether that's being a leader, or making plays, just doing what I can do to help this team. I'll make it more than what it is.
Jordan Fuller was saying the other day that he was working on, increasing some body armor to get stronger, to kind of help him get through the season. I know you had a couple injuries last season that I don't know that you can really prepare to avoid, but having been through that, is there anything you're doing going into this year that's different in terms of physical preparation to maybe help ward off some of that?
Yeah, a lot.
Like what? What kind? Can you share with us just what kind of things you're focusing on?
I'm just trying to make sure I'm healthy for the season. If I'm healthy, as long as I'm healthy, everything gonna go smooth. So that's been my priority. That's been my focus this off season. So and it'll show. Lord willing.
Thanks very much.
No problem.
Claudia?
Hey, Cam.
How you doing?
How inspiring is it? Yes. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. How inspiring is it to see these young rookies in camp working so hard to make this team?
It's very inspiring, because I was just there. I was just there last year. I was just in their shoes trying to solidify a spot, trying to make a name for myself. So, I understand it and I can relate to it a lot. So, from my shoes, I just want to be somebody that the young guys can come to, ask questions, leader figure. So, whether it's year two, I just want to be somebody that they can come to and ask questions and give great advice to them,
Thank you.
No problem.
Omar?
Hey, Cam, we talk a lot about, players making that big jump from the first year to their second year. I'm just curious what you're sort of focusing on or honing in on. I know you mentioned a lot about, being healthy for the season, but, kind of where you're expecting to take this leap here as you enter your second year.
I'm just expecting to win. My personal goal is everything happens when you win. So, I just want to win and everything else that come with it. I feel like it'll be great.
And then this is obviously your first time, doing OTAs and things of that nature with the team in the off season. Just what are your impressions of that? It's, I guess a rare circumstance for a player to have a year under his belt, but never have gone through this part of the season before.
Yeah, man, it's good. I like it. Basically, I saw above the neck, for me. That's what it's been for me, above the neck, making sure I know the playbook like back of my hand, making sure I'm sharp on footwork, just a little thing, sharpening up the little thing.
Cool. Thank you, Cam. Appreciate it.
Kevin?
Hi, Cam. How's it been different with Matthew Stafford out there rather than Jared? And I mean, in terms of just his style as a teammate, as a leader?
I would say in a lot of ways, because they're two completely different people. So, just the way they carry themselves, just the way they go about their day, is very different because they're not the same people. So,
in what ways? I mean, what strikes you about Stafford that makes him different or special?
You said what? I can't hear you.
Say it again.
I couldn't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll repeat it. You said they're different people. How is Stafford different? What makes him different? What makes him special to you?
Well, they just both got unique features. I feel like they're both special in their own ways. Both of them are great quarterbacks. Both of them great people. But I feel like it's just like like me and you, we different people. So it'd be hard to pinpoint something.
Right, but you don't have to. You don't have to buy into me as your leader on the field. So are guys buying into what Matthew is doing and saying out there?
Everybody's already bought in. That was from day one. He came in and fit right in with it. And demanded he's the leader of the team. So.
Great, thanks.
We'll wrap up here with Kurt, please.
Hey, Cam, what went into your decision about changing your number?
I've been number 3 since I was like 6. So that's always been my favorite number. My childhood number, growing up all the way through high school, college, whatever sport I played, I was number 3. So, that's just my lucky number. And, I'm blessed to have it. I'm blessed to be able to play with it again, bring it here with me. And hopefully I'll make it my own.
Can you expand on that as a player? I mean, you had a great year with not number 3. What is it for a player, specifically you, where you say, I want that number, and why is that so important to you?
Because that number, like I said, that number holds a lot of value to me because I played in that number when I was in my roughest times in life. I feel like so. I feel like I'm at my strongest. Not literally, I know I'm not at my strongest, but that's how I feel.
Awesome. Thank you, Cam.
No problem.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
And then Sean, specifically, obviously talking about Cam Akers here, but for a running back going from year 1 to year 2, what do you think, where do you think a running back typically could make the biggest leap, and where do you think Cam's going to make the biggest leap?
Yeah, I think it's just in the detail and what, his job entails every single snap, Lindsey. The biggest thing that, you would talk about, he's got great natural run instincts. He's really talented as a pass catcher. It's the nuanced understanding of where you fit in some of the protections when the back's involved. But I think it's just continuing to become more and more complete. He's got the skill set. He's capable. We really feel the same way about Darrell Henderson as well. And so under Coach Brown's leadership and guidance, I expect that group to really grow, and been really pleased with some of those other backs as well. With Jake Funk's come in and done a really nice job, and Raymond Calais is showing that he got some valuable experience in the system, even though we picked him up late in the year last year, or after training camp.
Kevin?
Hi, Sean. Building on Lindsey's question about Cam Akers, assuming he does take a step forward from year 1 to year 2, and assuming he's healthy, what are the ways that you'd be able to use him more or differently?
Yeah, I think all the ways that you would want to be able to use a running back that doesn't have any limitations. That's, hey, number one, you got to be able to play on all 3 downs. He's obviously a great runner, but he's got ability as a pass catcher coming from the backfield. We can displace him, put him in the slot or in the outside receiver location. And then, how good are you going to be? He's got the toughness to be able to stick his face on people and in the blitz pickup phase, but understanding where you fit and being able to just kind of detail up every single snap. But there's not any limitations, but we'll see how it comes to life. But I think it's about the consistency, snap in and snap out. And, that really remains true for any position that you're talking about. You want to see that consistency show up. You guys hear me say it all the time. That's the truest measurement of performance. But the detail, the focus, the concentration that's required from one snap to the next, making sure that the first snap is the same as the 60th or the 30th. And that's where I think Cam can really separate himself as one of the better ones in the league to do what he's doing.
And then, since health was one thing that held him back last year, is there something that the team can do to I don't know, try to prevent that this time? Seems like those injuries, though, weren't like fitness things or anything.
Yeah, I think he fell on the ball awkwardly against Philly, where you end up breaking a couple ribs. So I think what you do try to do is make sure that you're using Reggie and his group's guidance to try to implement sound foundational plans from a sports performance perspective to really, prevent some of the, the muscle pulls and some of those soft tissue injuries. But then there are some things that are just freak accidents that occur. And, I'll tell him when he gets in traffic, move the ball so you don't fall on it.
A lot of people might look at this offense and say, well, it revolves around Matthew Stafford and the passing game. But how important is it for Cam to take that step forward?
It really is, Kevin. Any of the best offenses have the ability to beat you, whether you want to throw the football or run it. You're not, really, you want to have some versatility. You want to be good in both phases. You want to be able to try to dictate the terms. And, that's the goal. And any offense that I've been a part of that's done some really good things, they're complete. They're efficient, they're explosive, but that's not exclusive to just the pass game. That's both the run and the pass. And that enables you to be able to move the ball, maintain possession, or score a bunch of points. And that's what the best offenses do. And that's exactly what we're, striving to try to do.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Rams running back Cam Akers has suffered a torn Achilles while working out. Testing confirmed confirmed the injury. He'll miss the entire 21 season. It's a huge blow for LA. They're losing their leading rusher a week before camp begins. I'll start with you here, Stephen A. And we talked a lot about what LA could potentially do, right? And obviously having a new quarterback in Matthew Stafford. What are your thoughts now on the Rams season? What do they do?
Well, it's a devastating blow, no doubt about it. They had a two-headed monster at the running back position with Akers and Darrell Henderson last year. Both rushed for over 600 yards, but both averaged at least 4 yards a carry. Darrell Henderson is still there last time I checked, unless some injury has happened to him that I missed and didn't know about. I think he's still there, so I don't think that I think that you're still not completely decimated at the position. It's sad that this happened to Cam Akers because I thought he had a lot of potential. The kid's a stud, and I'm really sorry to him, the best to him and his loved ones. I hope that he recovers, makes a full recovery. But in the end, do I expect it to be devastating? Again, Henderson is still there. You can go out and find another running back. You still got Woods. You still got Kupp. You still got that number one defense against the pass, number one in yards allowed, number one in points allowed, excuse me, and number three against the rush with all of those brothers returning. So I'm still going to tell you that I don't think that this sways the Los Angeles Rams that dramatically, even though it's not a good thing. No question about that.
Usually, I would say a running back injury doesn't sway it that dramatically, as you mentioned, especially if you have depth there at a good level. In this case, the Rams have Super Bowl aspirations right now. That's why they traded Goff who was a former number one overall, with 2 firsts and a third to bring in Stafford. Cam Akers was a guy, you can't say he was there yet, but Jeff, watching Cam Akers in the second half of last year, he seemed to me, we were just talking about the best running backs in football, and I believe Saquon coming back will be number one. I think McCaffrey number 2. Stephen, I think you said it was Kamara, right? Like, Akers is, to me, was about to join that kind of group. I thought he had a chance to be a top 5, 6 back this year, the way he closed out last season. And when you put a guy like that on this Rams team with Stafford on that defense, you're thinking they're among the handful of teams that are favorites to win the Super Bowl. I don't know if it changes the odds dramatically, but I know I personally think a little less of their chances right now.
Absolutely. I think this is a big hit for them. And to your point, Akers came on so strong at the end of last year. And if you think about the way Sean McVay designs his offense, that running game is not only the quarterback's best friend, it's the defense's best friend as well. And they do as good a job as anybody with motions and formations to really set up those runs. And you saw Akers he just fell in line and fell in love with the way that offense runs. And he was going to be vital in this offense this year. I think this is a devastating blow. Again, I think it's bigger than what you guys are making. I think it shakes this team up. You brought Stafford in, but you needed Akers and his performance. The good thing is, if there is the underlining, is when it happens, maybe you can go out and find a guy right now that can come in and before the season starts and get acclimated to this team, because that's a hurry for a running back.
A lot of options, guys, on that. A lot of options, but I'll say this. It hasn't been the same since Todd Gurley stopped being Todd Gurley, right? Akers looked like he could be Todd Gurley for this team.
But can I say this?
That's right.
Let me say this real quick because I know we got to go. Let me say this real quick. You just acquired Matthew Stafford, who's supposed to be an upgrade from Goff, who's starving for his opportunities, never even won a playoff game. I understand that Akers is a big loss, but I don't want to hear that nonsense. If you Matthew Stafford, you still got enough to get it done.
But
by the way,
in his defense, I know a lot's on the table there for Matthew Stafford, but in his defense, this would have helped taking the pressure off him.
Yeah. By the way,
now he's in a brand new offense, and he can't just hand it off to a guy that's been there.
Now Akers could have been like the new Todd Gurley, but guess who's available right now? Todd Gurley. Like the actual Todd Gurley, Le'Veon Bell, these guys, Adrian, there are a lot of brand name guys. They're not Akers right now, but there are a lot of brand name guys. Jeff, I see you shaking your head no.
No. I'm not shaking it. No,
no, Jeff. Jeff was saying no.
McVay is going to be looking for fresh legs, young guy who comes in and becomes a team guy. He's not looking for the piece. He's looking for a piece. And to Stephen A's point, man, I feel awful for Akers. Wish him the best in healing up. But I think this will be a finding a guy, not trying to find the guy.
Sean, I know there are a lot of running backs that you like here. What are the possibilities of bringing Todd Gurley back into the fold?
I don't think that's something that we're exploring right now, just the veteran route. Todd's obviously been a huge part of a lot of good things for the Rams. And, I know for me personally, I'm very grateful for all the good things that Todd did and what that meant for our team's success and the leader that he was, Sam. But I think what I'm interested is different than a couple years ago when you bring CJ in. This, unfortunately for Cam, we're going to miss him a lot, and he's meant a whole lot to this football team over the last year, and I think he will for years to come. But Darrell Henderson's played really good football. We've got an opportunity, leading up into that September 12th date against the Bears to really say, okay, what can Calais do? What can Jake Funk do? What can Xavier Jones do? How do these guys really illustrate, their skill sets on the practice field? And then to say that you would never do it, you don't want to pigeonhole yourself into that, but we are going to use camp as an opportunity to let Thomas Brown pour into these guys and see how they compete and how they handle probably a little bit heavier workload than they anticipated.
Horrible what happened to Cam. What was your reaction when you heard, and obviously how you knew you would get more touches and more responsibility?
I never want to see a player get hurt, and me coming off 2 ankle surgery is just horrible. Like, when I heard that, I immediately looked down at mine, because I'm like, it makes your mind still good. And it's just horrible to see him go out like that, and we're going to dedicate this year for him. So,
how are you feeling just physically?
I feel pretty good. So,
you play obviously a position that takes a pounding. Can you do anything different? Do you focus on anything different in the offseason or during the season that you've learned from the past to stay healthy?
At this position, there's no way to prevent injuries, because you're getting hit every play, and this is a physical position to play, and you got to be ready for it. So you got to be prepared mentally, and just got to be ready for it all.
You feel like you're able to take on even more carries kind of heading into this season with Cam out?
Yeah, if it's on me, then I'm ready for it.
Before Cam got hurt, people were talking about he's the number 1 guy, but is that the way you were ready to approach camp, or were you competing for number 1?
We don't look at that like that here. We all a big family, and we just all ready for our opportunities, so we don't look at it that way. It's just all about competition. We all gonna get our chance, so it's just you to take advantage of that opportunity.
Speaking of videos that made the rounds, Cam Akers was on the field running the ladder last week.
Oh, yeah.
And just seeing him do it made me wonder, we haven't revisited this in a while. Is he definitely out for 21?
No, he's definitely not. You don't want to be presumptuous at all. We got to handle our business, but if you said we give ourselves an opportunity to play after the season, would there be a possible Cam sighting playing for the Rams? That's not something I would rule out.
In the meantime, how about that Sony Michel trade and what it means to your running back
He's a
depth?
stud. He's so tough. I like I said, week in and week out, I really think he and Darryl are great complements of one another. Buddy Al's a guy that's done a good job coming in. You see him do some good stuff practice. I thought he showed some good toughness and physicality on special teams and some of our coverage units. And so that has been a big trade for us. I really, Sony's a pro's pro. He's been trained the right way. He and Thomas have a great rapport. He's tough. He's physical. He can do a lot of different things. And I think he and Darryl complement each other really well.
Hey, Sean, just wanted to ask you about the news about Cam Akers being designated for return. Seems remarkable when you consider it's, basically 5 months removed from when he suffered that torn Achilles. Just your reaction to, him potentially being available for supposedly the playoffs. And I guess what were some of the thresholds that he had to clear to kind of get to this point to feel comfortable with that?
Yeah, he's done such a great job. What a resilient, tough-minded guy. I think it's a credit to, his work, Reggie and the group that he's worked with. Obviously, Dr. Elatrosh and doing a great job. And so it's an incredible story. Can't wait to get him back out there. When that is something that we're going to continue to work through. But guy's a stud in every sense of the word.
Thank you.
Claudia?
Hey, Sean, I'm sure the news about Cam Akers was like a early Christmas present for you on, talking about the running backs. Sony Michel is starting to have a great moments in games. How much do you expect from him as you get closer to the playoffs?
Yeah, he's done really well, Claudia, and to potentially have Cam return when that is, not really sure yet, but it's been big. Sony's done an outstanding job. I think he's really carried the load for the last 3 weeks, and I think that's been a real positive thing for us.
Sean, when did you or when did the Rams become aware that Cam Akers could be back before the end of the season or the playoff season?
I would say a couple months ago. The way that he was trending, you had an idea that if he stayed on track, I always give him a hard time about some of those Russian gymnasts that were freaking making a comeback in about 5 months from the Achilles and performing in the Olympics. So, no, I'd say we kind of had an idea that he was really accelerating his rehab and making great progress. And, he's a freak. in a
And
good
then,
way.
and then what did he do today? And then what are you looking for going forward to determine when he would be able to play?
Yeah, we really just started his 21-day clock. It's not something that he's going to be ready to go this week. It's going to be a progressive build, a little bit different than some of these other guys where you put them off that, you activate them, and then they're immediately playing. So there's still some levels to this. Want to be able to check the boxes and be smart with him. So today's a hard gauge, Kevin, just because we didn't really do anything because of some of the weather and things like that. And this is really like a Tuesday in our players' mind. So we're really just starting that 21-day clock with him. And, and I'll be better equipped to answer that as we start actually really doing things that are physical practice reps, where he's been doing things in his rehab that's much more tolling than what we did today.
But realizing it's not a gauge today, but I'm just trying to get a picture. Was he on the field?
No, he wasn't out there with us today. Poor Daryl can't catch a break. He has a great run, and it was one of those deals. It was kind of a freak way that he went down on a good run, and we'll miss him as well.
Does that increase the urgency if there is such a thing for a guy coming off of an Achilles injury like Cam to get him going, to get him back in the lineup?
I don't think it changes anything because you still want to be really smart with him, Lindsay, but there is a possibility that he plays this week. He looked really good last week in practice, did a nice job. Want to make sure that we're smart checking all the boxes, but I mean, this guy is an impressive guy. He sure looked like he was capable of potentially playing last week, but just with the minimal opportunities we've had to practice and how you want to be smart about going about that process and procedure. But those are independent of one another, but there is a chance that Cam plays this week.
And then on Cam Akers, can you talk about what went into the decision to activate him with 3 weeks out, given the 3 weeks of roster time?
Yeah, I think it more goes to the credit of him and helping him be able to have some incentives, or really it's. Les would be better equipped to answer it, but it's more of a situation that this guy's done such a great job. He's earned the right to be able to get on this roster, and it looks like there's a possibility of him contributing as soon as this week, actually on the field. I wouldn't appropriately articulate it if I answered it, but it is some sort of semantics on accrued seasons and things of that nature.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Jackie, and I'm starting this off. The Rams get down so nobody scoff. And don't you worry, cause the Rams are rapping. When game time comes, we'll be back to jiving. We can't sing and our dance is not pretty, but we'll do our best for the team and the city. So get on your feet and clap your hands. Let's ram it right now with the LA Rams. Ram it.